Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, AllCoinSherpa here with a crypto market review. Today I will be reviewing ETH, USD, and ETH BTC. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert to your own research. Let's just look into ETH USD. This is an absolutely insane chart. There's nothing to say about this. It's just like incredibly bullish on both pairs. I would not be surprised to see this go to like $5,000 within the next few weeks. Certainly think there's more upside for it. For all the people that say, why you invest in ETH compared to other altcoins, like isn't the upside lower? Yes, that's true compared to like some BSC shitcoin or like lower cap altcoins. Those lower caps will certainly have more room to run than ETH, but the reason why people trade ETH is because it's a safer trade. Like ETH is not going to go to zero, and like few other coins can say that. And the liquidity is really good. I mean, it trades really nicely. It's obviously like the second biggest cap coin. There's just like a lot of trading activity. Yeah, it's just like really a good coin to trade and safe. The weekly is just absolutely insane. You saw this consolidation area in February. For about a month, and then now it's finally expanding. It just still looks really strong. So this is the weekly, obviously incredibly bullish, still really nice volume. If you scroll down to lower time frames, I think that this chart will actually highlight it a little bit better. As I said before, you saw this accumulation period back in January, and then a 50% move-ish up, followed by another accumulation range. I always actually thought that 3,000 to 3,500 would kind of be like the area to target, just kind of based off like this previous move. But so far we're seeing like even stronger overall, like from like this kind of range high area. It's about 70% or 80% depending on how you want to chart it. For this move, and it's absolutely incredible to see. I mean, this just looks really strong still. Strong volume. There is some high sell volume, but I mean, given the overall trend, this is just super strong. You saw momentary periods of pullback for ETH USD. For instance, like this was like kind of a recent consolidation, and now price is breaking out, as you can see now. So where are my targets for ETH USD? You'll have to really look at the ETH BTC chart, because whenever something is in price discovery, like ETH USD is, it's really hard to find actual good targets. We can looking at like fib extensions, but those are not necessarily like the best. They're not the best for finding targets. So we'll just like add some okay, we'll get rid of everything else. Okay, so these targets might be like the next ones up that I can see. Not the best. It's not terrible though. I mean, you can actually see that this 2.618 level at 3,500 proved to be like a resistance level. And these levels are actually fairly respected in general. So the next level up I would see is the 3 area around 3,700. This, I mean, that's like really close. It's like 25 bucks away or 50 bucks away. So not really going to be that far away, relatively speaking. But given the fact that this price just kind of consolidated recently, I think that there's actually going to be higher targets, like 3,800 or something like that, 3,900. Again, not that far away relative to price. So if you're looking to scalp, you can use these fib extensions, but if not, then I would use the ETH BTC chart, which we'll go into soon. But overall, like ETH USD still incredibly bullish. I mean, as I said, because this recently hit consolidation right here, I believe that there's going to be further upside. when you see price kind of grinding up like this and consolidating, usually the expansion will be pretty significant, and the longer it consolidates, the larger the expansion, of course. So, like for instance, what I'm trying to say is that because we saw price accumulate for about a month here, and then further another month or so during this range throughout March and April, the expansion is going to be a lot stronger than like if you saw a coin just move up, consolidate for like 1 or 2 days, and then move up again. Like this won't necessarily have as strong of a move as something like this, where it accumulates for a while and now it's moving strongly. A good example of that would be looking at the accumulation range for Bitcoin during the beginning of 2019, at like the end of 2018, when it accumulated for several months. I mean, it just looked really strong, and then it expanded like very strongly. So this still looks really good. Again, kind of 4,500 to 5Ks would be like my target over the next few weeks personally. It's going to partially depend on Bitcoin, but I mean, this still is very strong. If I were to look to buy dips for ETH USD, there should be quite a bit of trading activity all throughout the 3000s. And I think that this is a pretty strong base that price formed. Like, I think this support should hold. If price had done something like, just massive moves up, then I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with lower levels, because there's going to be inefficiencies on the move up. But because of the way price grinded like this, it looks pretty strong. Like, you see kind of like this vertical accumulation pattern. It still looks really good overall. If I were to look to buy dips, it's honestly hard to say, because there's not like any concrete easy level. Like the last like swing high that we saw was back at 2,600 or something like that where price significantly pulled back. I mean, you could maybe say like 3,500 might be like an interesting area, but again, that area has been tapped a whole lot and the levels are pretty unclear. So like this entire block is like kind of an area where price should have support all the way down to 3,200. If price does not hit that, or if price loses that area, then an immediate area around 2,950 or so should be support, followed by this other consolidation block around 2,600 to 2,700. Again, these levels are all pretty close, and these levels are fairly, they're not super defined and super clear to me personally. If you look at volume profile, like the 2,700 area looks like pretty strong, but again, this 3,200 area there's a lot of trading activity, and if Bitcoin really shits the bed, then the mid 2000s would come, but I'm not really looking at those areas quite yet. It would take a big move from Bitcoin for that, but overall, still very bullish on ETH USD. ETH BTC, this is like the same infographic I've had for many weeks now. I've always thought that ETH BTC was going to go higher. 055 was pretty, like I was pretty confident 055 would have gotten tapped. And I'm really happy that ETH is like my biggest position overall. Like still really bullish on ETH. ETH BTC like 0.008 looks pretty possible. And as this infographic shows on this chart, I'm just basically playing the market cycles for ETH BTC, and it's really stayed true overall. Like you saw green big pump in the winter, big move down in following after that big pump, and then a summertime big move up. I'm sorry, summertime, a springtime move up in April or May. And so far, this has really stayed true overall, and I'm really happy and proud that it actually did stay true, because these market cycles were pretty solid and reliable over the last few years. Now, after this next move, I don't really know what's going to happen. If it's going to be like 2018 and 2019, where we see price just pull back really hard in the summer for ETH BTC. Now, in 2020, this was a break in market structure. We actually saw price pull back a little bit in April, and I thought we were done, and that was it. But it actually formed a higher low at that point, and then price made a higher high in the summer. This is decentralized finance summer of 2020, and altcoins really did great during that time. And now we're seeing a bullish market structure, which is something that we haven't seen in years for ETH BTC. So overall, I'm like really bullish on ETH BTC still, and I think like 0.085 is like kind of like the next level up. I will go into some other charts. As you can see here too, this is a range that I charted before, where you could arguably see this range since September of 2018, and it couldn't break these range highs at 0.035 or 0.036 and 0.04 for many years. As you can see here, the green boxes are the marks of higher highs and higher lows. And yeah, it's just going to keep continuing, in my opinion. A good entry would be like 0.55, in my opinion. Like, this would require Bitcoin making a big move in one direction or other, and then further expansion up to like 0.8, 0.85 is kind of like my region that I'm looking at. But it still looks pretty bullish to me overall. As I said, 0.55 would kind of be like my range that I'm looking at for an entry. If Bitcoin really moves strongly, then like kind of 0.5 kind of area would be interesting too, or 0.48. But let's kind of play it level to level. I mean, if you look scale down to lower time frame charts too, I mean, it's just still looks really good to me. If you scale down to lower time frame charts, I mean, yeah, kind of like this 0.5 to, and then like this 0.478. These are kind of like some interesting levels, but I mean, it still looks pretty good to me. It's just kind of bull flagging, in my opinion, just a consolidation. Expecting price to just keep ping-ponging and then going up. But yeah, it still looks really good to me, in my opinion. I mean, it doesn't look super overheated. There is high sell volume coming in, which is a little bit concerning, but given the overall market structure, you have to be bullish still. I would just look to buy dips on this. 0.58 will be your first level up. If that gives, maybe 0.57 would be like a better area, but this area did get tapped already, so if you start to see something like this, where price is like making smaller bounces and the entire market kind of looks bad, then you can consider not buying here. But I mean, this should hold up for the first go at least. But there are levels of support lower on. And if you look at some EMAs too, EMAs might need some time to catch up. So like, if this gives this like 0.52 area, that would be a great entry. But again, it would take some big moves from Bitcoin, in my opinion, before that happens. But overall, still very bullish on ETH BTC, ETH USD. I still feel that these are high targets going forward in the summer. Still feel that this will be a good one. So thanks for watching and good luck.